Hello everybody and welcome to Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. I'm Jack and today, as you can see, I have two Roaring Skies booster boxes here. They came in the post today. The set was actually released yesterday as of recording this video. So I was a little bit upset that I didn't get them on the release day. But as I promised you guys on Facebook and Twitter, and I think that we've mentioned it a couple of times in the videos, I'm going to be opening up these two boxes for you. I have started them off just to prevent wasting time opening these guys up, because I want to crack on. I've been pretty excited all day at school today, just because I knew I'd be coming home to open these two fresh new booster boxes. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it in 3 videos. I'm going to do, for the first box, I'm going to do one video sort of per side, just going over the cards in a little bit more detail than I will for the second box. And then for the second box, I'll just probably do the whole box in one video. Just get it out of the way and get straight on. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I've got sleeves at the ready for all the, hopefully all the Shaymins we're going to pull, because that's most definitely the best card in this set. So let's get started. And I'll probably be giving away some codes throughout the box as well. And what an amazing start. We start with a full art Mega Latios. I just saw that shine. I will go over the other cards, but I just saw that shine in the corner of it and got a little bit excited. That's a full art Mega Latios to start with. That's incredible. Where am I going to put this rubbish? Let's put it over here. Okay, so what else we got? We've got Natu, Nincada, Gligar, Voltorb, Inkay, Reverse Pelipper, Gliscor, Switch and Tropius. So nothing too exciting there. I'll make a few piles just to keep, hopefully, everything organised. Let's go for reverses and then commons and uncommons there. What a great start. Full art Mega Latios. As you can see, the Sonic Ace attack is pretty much one of the best sniping attacks in the game, if not the best sniping attack. Camera's a little bit shaky. But basically, it'll let you you discard 2 energy and then deal 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, which is really efficient for getting rid of Shaymins, which is obviously a huge card in the set. And this time we've got a Skarmory rare and a Gallade Spirit Link. That's all really to mention. But yeah, Mega Latios is probably the best way of killing Shaymins, definitely out of this set and out of a few other sets that we've got. We have indeed put a Mega Latios video up for you guys, a deck analysis on it, and I've tried the deck and it's a lot of fun to play. It can really get set up quite quickly and is able to hit the 120 relatively consistently because of Double Dragon Energy, and we've paired it with Reshiram. It's able to pretty consistently get this Sonic Ace attack off, which is really good for getting rid of Shaymins, like I said. So Reverse Swallow in this third pack, and then the Tool Concealment Bayonet. I'm not quite sure, I haven't really thought of anything that this Tool Conceal Bayonet can do yet, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of quirky deck that someone comes up with that may sort of stop tools. I think the best use for it is probably stopping the effects of Mega Pokemon and Spirit Links, because Mega Pokemon really get hurt without Spirit Links. And then we've got a Steven and a Healing Scarf, 2 relatively underwhelming trainers in the set, unfortunately. Again, we actually did the Roaring Skies set analysis, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. So all of these cards, or all of the notable cards of the set, have been explained in relatively large amounts of detail by Joe. So if there's anything more you want to say or want to know about these cards, then make sure you go and check the 2-part Roaring Skies analysis that Joe put up. It's really helpful for he explains a lot of the different cards in the set, so definitely go and check that out. And in that aspect we got a Mega Rayquaza. That's a gold energy switch. Oh wow, this box has been very impressive so far. Unfortunately, that's got a sort of chip out of the top, which is going to mean it's devalued a little bit, but I don't think I think I'm probably going to hold on to this card anyway. So, golden energy switch. So we've got a full art and a golden rare, or secret rare, golden trainer out of the box so far. This is incredible. And then another Rayquaza Spirit Link. Like I said, he's explained all of the trainers in the set and all of the notable Pokemon in the set in relative detail. So make sure you go and check that out. If there's anything that you've perhaps seen in one of the videos that I haven't explained, or explained enough, or that you'd like to know a little bit more about, make sure you go and check that out. That part we've got Latios Spirit Link, and then the Maxwind Dragonite. I really like the Maxwind Dragonite. Basically his ability is a max potion, but you don't have to get rid of the energy on your Pokemon. So this could be really good for slower tanky decks. Unfortunately, Seismitoad is still out and about and still trainer locking, which makes getting stage 2s out a lot more difficult, considering you can't use Rare Candy. But when when Seismitoad goes, if we ever have a format where there's no trainer lock and it's a bit easier to get stage 2s out, I think this is going to be a pretty good card, just because it's like a free max potion, really. And the other, I really think the other Dragonite in the set is underrated for what it is. It's not incredible. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's quite efficient, and I think it's not a bad Pokemon. But I said that about Kingdra from Primal Clash, and that hasn't seen top tables anywhere, so what do I know? In that fact we got a Carbink, which is again relatively underwhelming, and a Revive. So no, I've really screwed this pack up. Let's put that away and see what else we've got. We've got one of the new Delta Plus Swallows, which could be a cheap little sort of finisher offer on anything that you aren't quite able to knock out in one hit. And then a Klefki rare. Obviously that Delta Plus means that you take one more prize with every sort of knockout you take with Swallow, and that also stacks onto the fact that EXs you take an extra prize as well. So if you knock out an EX with a Swallow, you do take 3 prizes, which is pretty interesting. And then we've got two of, I think, the best trainers in the set, Skyfield and Mega Turbo. So Skyfield is obviously a huge sort of boost for decks that like a big bench, like the new Rayquaza and Raichu, things like that. It means that you don't have to worry about bench space too much, and obviously it can also be locked in with the Primal Clash Ninetales that is out. So it's quite an interesting trainer. And then Mega Turbo is just such a good sort of I don't know what the word would be, but it helps Megas out so much with energy acceleration, letting you attach a basic from your discard pile to one of your Mega Evolved Pokemon. That's pretty effective on considering the Mega Pokemon can be quite slow. It's a pretty good way of doing things. I'm actually gonna go ahead and give a code away here. So if you can see that, I'm going to leave that up there. Pause if you would like to get yourself that code, just because I'm feeling generous. And there's our first normal EX. That's a Rayquaza EX, which is relatively interesting. I do like the Dragon side. I like the fact that they've done both like Dragon side and colourless side of Rayquaza. I think that's really interesting. However, that is the worst of the two Rayquaza EXs that we've got. Another Mega Turbo in there. But I'm sure, I definitely think the Dragon Mega Rayquaza is interesting, and ultimately you can actually use this Dragon Rayquaza to evolve into the colourless Mega Rayquaza. So if you want to try something with a bit of both, you can do that. But obviously the colourless Rayquaza hits EXs for 60 for 1 energy, and has sort of colourless support, so the colourless one is probably a little bit better for your decks, but you never know. And back-to-back EXs, we've got a Thundurus EX here. Probably my least favourite EX of the set, to be quite honest. We've also got a Reverse Holo Reshiram and a Switch. So yeah, the Thundurus is probably my least favourite EX from the set, but I'm definitely happy to take a Thundurus over nothing. I do think Thundurus is a pretty cool Pokemon. This is a really big card though. Reshiram is going to be really useful for, like I said, that Mega Latios, because Mega Latios' attack requires 1 colourless energy. You can use Reshiram's Turbo Blaze ability to be able to actually set up a Mega Latios in 1 turn. If you've already got the Mega on your bench, you can then attach the double colourless, the double Dragon, and then use Turbo Blaze to attach the 3rd energy onto Mega Latios, meaning that you can set up Sonic Ace really quickly. And basically the Mega Latios just aims to knock out your opponent's Shaymins and take 6 prizes before they've really got a huge board or have made a big presence in the game. We've got a Reverse Gligar and an Unpheasant, and then 2 more trainers, Trainer's Mail and Wide Lens. Trainer's Mail is a really good trainer, I think. It outclasses Roller Skates by a huge amount, because Roller Skates obviously requires the flip, whereas Trainer's Mail lets you look at the top 4 cards and then reveal a trainer card you find there that isn't Trainer's Mail, which obviously works with supporters and stadiums and tools, anything like that, meaning that you can look at the top 4 cards and get anything you want there trainer wise, rather than risk a flip with the Roller Skates. You may get the other 2 cards that you see with the Trainer's Mail, but I feel Trainer's Mail outclasses it a little bit. And I think it's really useful for speed decks, just for getting it gets a card that you can it gets another card that may be more helpful than a card in your hand. And it also, when it comes to using Shaymins, you're going to be wanting a lot of trainers that you can drop instantly, and Trainer's Mail you can always drop instantly. You're either going to get 1 card or no cards, and in those 4 cards that you pick up using Trainer's Mail, you may get another insta-drop card, meaning that you can get rid of sometimes you can sometimes get rid of at least 1 card, if not, I think it works out as you're always getting rid of 1 card, providing it's an instant drop, which is really cool. Wide Lens, I think, is one of the most interesting tools we've got in the game. It applies weakness to damage and resistance to damage benched Pokemon. So for things like Landorus, and it'd actually work on Mega Latios, but I don't think there are any Dragon Weak threats in the format at the moment. But Wide Lens, I think, is really interesting, and it means that you're going to be hitting sometimes for 60 with a Landorus with 1 energy, which is pretty insane, because you're going to be applying the weakness for the Hammerhead. But I feel Landorus loses a lot of not a lot of popularity, but a lot of sort of dominance in the format with this new set, considering that I'm really butchering these packs, considering that the new Rayquaza, or the colourless Rayquaza, has resistance, so it's not. I don't feel it's as good anymore, which is unfortunate, because I like Landorus. We've then got a Reverse Zapdos and a Talonflame. I'm really hoping we're going to get a good Talonflame one day. I think Talonflame's one of the best Gen 6 Pokemon. It's so cool, and I just feel they don't do it justice in the well, they haven't done it justice so far in the TCG. Then we've got another Healing Scarf and a Steven. So we're getting towards the end of this side now. We've got a Natto and a Xatu. The Natto also has Delta Plus, which is really kind of weird, because I'm not sure you're going to be taking many knockouts with the Natto, considering it only does 10 damage times the amount of energy on your opponent's Pokemon. But hey, if you can get a Mewtwo that had a little bit of damage and has got a few energy on it, you could be taking 3 prizes on a Natto, or 4 with a Natto. And then we've got 3 trainers that are uncommons. We've got an Ultra Ball, which I'm not going to go over. You guys know what Ultra Ball does. Latios Spirit Link again. You know what the Spirit Links are. But we've got our first double Dragon Energy, which is perfect with Mega Latios. and if I can find it, where's the Reshiram? There it is. So this is the kind of setup you're going to be wanting. You're going to have a Mega Latios on the bench with a double dragon. You're then going to use Turbo Blaze to, say, attach another energy. We use a Fletchman. Attach another energy. There's another card in the set that gives dragons free retreat, so then you can then free retreat and use Sonic Ace to. You're getting rid of your double dragon, but you're going to be dealing 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And if they've got a Shaman, that's going to be two prizes. That's going to really increase how quickly you can take prizes, considering Shaman is a very low HP EX. But the ability is most definitely worth it. And we've got our first holo of the set. I've just realised we haven't had a holo yet. We've got an Absol and then a Shedinja. I love Shedinja. I think Shedinja is one of the most interesting Pokemon in the set. And then we've got another Ultra Ball as well. So Shedinja, basically, this second attack, Hopeless Scream, does 50 damage times the number of damage counters on Shedinja. So if you've got two, because it's only got 30 HP, you're only ever going to have two on it without any sort of health buffs. But that's still 100 for one energy, one colourless energy, which means it's splashable as well. But I think the best way of using Shedinja, and possibly the only way of using Shedinja, is actually with Mew. Since Mew has a bit more HP, and it means that it can then actually one-shot Megas. If you have 5 damage on you, you can one-shot a Mega with Hopeless Scream. Obviously with colourless energy, that works as well. I've taken from the box, whoops. So that's really interesting. Absol, I'm yet to form a large opinion on. I feel, whilst we've got Dusknoir in the set, I'd rather dedicate a little bit more space into getting a Dusknoir out than just dropping an Absol. But I think Absol is certainly interesting, especially as the format or rotation happens. It could be quite an interesting card. Obviously, when you bench it, you move 3 damage from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another of your opponent's Pokemon. So that can help you sort of clear up some knockouts that you couldn't quite get and your opponent was able to get out of the active position. But I feel Dusknoir, whilst Dusknoir is a thicker line and more difficult to get out, I feel Dusknoir just does it so much better that I don't really feel it's too good at the moment. We've got a Dragonite and a Victini, and then a Latios Spirit Link and a Wally. Wally is probably one of my favourite trainers in the set. It's such a quirky little card. I'm glad they're giving some more support to evolution Pokemon, because evolution Pokemon are I feel they're meant to be the strongest of the Pokemon, and then we end up having things like Thundurus and Rayquaza that are just do huge damage for such little energy. It makes it more difficult to actually want to play evolution Pokemon, but Wally at least gives them a little bit of speed, letting you evolve turn 1 and search your deck for an evolution, which is really good. Got 2 packs left of this side. I'm really not doing well with these packs. They feel, as weird as it is, they feel a lot flimsier. They feel like the quality of the packs is a little bit flimsier, and it just sort of feels like it's just breaking in my hand. What have we got here? We've got a reverse of the other Natu, and a Deoxys, and then a Gallade Spirit Link and a Revive, sorry. So the Deoxys is one of the 2 cards in the set that can actually attack first. Oh, it's a holo. I didn't even realise that was holo. That's hardly holo, I don't think. Oh, there you go. We've got a second holo. Close Encounter lets you go first, lets you draw 2 cards even if you've gone first, which is really interesting. And I like that concept. I really like the concept of being able to still attack turn 1, but only be limited to what attacks you can use. I think that's a pretty cool concept. But I feel Deoxys is a little bit too slow, considering you're not always going to be going first, so when you're going second it's just the same as draw 2 cards. And you may want to dedicate your slots into something else rather than trying to get a Deoxys, sorry, and a Dimension Valley setup. It could be, it's relatively easy, but I feel there's probably other cards that do it a little bit better, like consistency cards, things like the new Trainer's Mail, or if you still wish to play it, Roller Skates. I feel they're a better turn 1 option rather than trying to get the Deoxys out turn 1, because you may sometimes have to go through resources to get Deoxys set up, just for 2 cards, you have to sometimes consider whether it's actually worth it. But that's actually this side of the box done. It's gone a lot quicker than I thought it would, which makes me a little bit sad. But in this box, so far we've had a Deoxys, an Absol, a Full Art Mega Latios, which is really cool, a Thundurus, a Dragon Rayquaza, and obviously that golden energy switch, which I will definitely be holding on to, despite that little nick at the top is really annoying. But hey, you get what you're given, and so far we've been given some pretty good stuff. So make sure you check back for the second part. I'm going to tidy up a little bit. Make sure you check back for the second part, where I'll open up the other side and go over the packs, go over the cards in some relative detail again, and then in the third part I'm just going to tear this other box straight open and hopefully get all the good stuff out of it to show you relatively quickly. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been Jack from Omnipoke, and I will see you in hopefully the next part.